With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Hi, welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the Executive Director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. I want to thank Concession Nation for sponsoring this episode of the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. Concession Nation is one of America's #1 food truck and food trailer builders. They're based in sunny South Florida. Concession Nation has crafted nearly 4,000 mobile kitchens for entrepreneurs all across the country. Their sales director, Keith Brown, is a chef and a veteran concessionaire who knows how to design a kitchen that's going to work. If you're ready to take that step towards your food truck dream, visit concessionnation.com. Tell them that the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast sent you there. Today I'm going to be talking about a 4-step core value process that Disney has and how they operate. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys I'm going to be in Edison, New Jersey this year as a part of the Food Truck Owners Expo. That's going to be December 2nd and 3rd of 2025. I'll be there giving 2 classes. I'll be there kicking off the campfire sessions. And of course, I'll be in my National Street Food Vendors Association booth where you guys can come and sit, take some pictures, have a discussion with me on how your food truck operates, and we'll just have a great time there in Edison, New Jersey. Again, December 2nd and 3rd of 2025. Go to FTOexpo.com, place your order for the tickets today, and when you do, put in the code FTTG15 for a 15% discount. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, what in the world does Walt Disney have to do with my food truck, I want you to stick with me. Disney trains every single employee on 4 core values that are very simple. And those values help guide those employees when the boss isn't around to tell them what to do. Those 4 core values are safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. So safety, courtesy, show, efficiency in that order. And those are the perfect guiding principles for every single food truck owner out there who wants to create consistency and loyalty and, above all, higher profits. So let's break down Disney style, what they do, and how that's going to help you on your food truck. At Walt Disney, at Disney World, at Disneyland, at all of the theme parks around the world, safety has to come first. It's not show, it's not being fast, it's not being anything other than we got to make sure the guests are safe. Because what Disney found over time is that when those guests get in the gates of Walt Disney World, the Magic Kingdom, or they go through the gates of Epcot, or they go through the gates of any of the theme parks, they're so excited and immersed in that world that common things suddenly get forgotten, such as looking both ways before you cross the street. They're on Main Street. They're in the Magic Kingdom. They're not paying attention to, oh, look, there are trolley rails embedded in the pavement. That might be a trip hazard. So Disney does a lot of things to make sure that those guests, when they're immersed in the world, don't forget basic safety needs. So the staff is trained to help remind people in a gentle way about being safe. So what's that mean for you on the food truck? You want to think about your food truck design. So at the point that you go to order the food truck, is it designed for safety as the #1 priority? Many people will ignore basic safety because, well, can you afford it? We don't buy a hood with automatic fire suppression in it because we can't afford it. Well, you're putting your safety of your investment, your staff, and yourself at risk just because you can't afford it. But it goes beyond just whether you need to buy a hood or not. So you want to think about, are the propane tanks secured and are they regularly inspected? Are the fire extinguishers accessible and the team knows how to use them and use them properly? Did you actually take time to train that employee, or did you just say, there's a grill, start cooking? Making sure that simple things like electric cords and mats don't become a trip hazard. I hate mats, especially the people that say, we need those anti-fatigue mats. They really help. Well, no, they don't. What they are is a trip hazard. And there's something else that you got to pull out and pressure wash to keep it clean. Because grease gets down in those little crevices and little holes that a lot of those anti-fatigue mats have. And it becomes just a mess. And believe me, I've seen more people trip and fall over mats placed in front of a fryer than I've seen actually slip and fall from grease on the floor. And of course, we all know there's the thing we have to learn as a food truck operator, and that is food safety. And then we got to teach the employees food safety. And it's simple things like washing your hands when you're supposed to wash your hands, putting on gloves, taking temperatures of the food to make sure it is safe. Simply because a readout on a refrigerator says 36 degrees doesn't mean the internal temperature is 36. That's why the health department wants you to have a thermometer hanging up inside the refrigerator that's independent of those exterior readings. The thing is, guests may not notice safety when it's done right, and that's the idea behind what Disney does. Guests don't notice that they're actually safe. They're immersed in the Disney experience, being in that theme park. But the theme park is designed to help keep them safe. You got to do the same thing on your food truck. Because when you have one accident or you have one case of foodborne illness and it gets out to where people know that, hey, that food truck made Uncle Joe sick, your brand takes a massive hit. Disney can afford somebody getting sick in one of their restaurants, but you can't. So here's a real quick tip. Create a daily safety checklist and make it a part of your opening routine. And honestly, it should be a part of your routine before you ever pull out of the driveway. So you should have that travel safety checklist, and then once you get on site, the food safety checklist. The second value that Disney has is courtesy. Disney teaches every single cast member to treat guests like royalty. They don't just answer questions, they create what Disney calls magical moments. And it's real simple. They look for reasons to delight their guests. Now, my question to you is, do you look for reasons to delight your guests? Or do you look at that big long line and think, cha-ching, I got money today? Well, you need to delight those guests and impress them to the point where they don't mind waiting, number one. And then number two, they want to come back tomorrow and create that big long line a second time. So here's what that looks like as far as courtesy, making that your competitive edge. Greet every single guest with eye contact and a genuine smile. Use phrases like, thank you so much for waiting, instead of, sorry for the wait. Thank you so much for waiting. What can I get for you today? I'll make sure it comes out super fast. Those kind of interactions people remember. Any nut can say, sorry for your wait, can I take your order, please? If someone seems unsure at your menu, go ahead and jump in and suggest something. Don't just stare and wait or look around or down at your phone and play some more Flappy Birds. Just say, hey, do you like hamburgers? Do you like something that's on your menu? And get them talking to you. They'll either say, yeah, it sounds good, or, oh, no, I really don't care for that. Okay, how about this? Engage the guests. Get them thinking and talking to you. And then you never, ever talk about problems where a guest can hear. You can't complain about, oh my God, I got to pay the state taxes today. I hope we do enough in sales, while there's people at your window. Oh my God, Joe called off. We're short-handed. Don't these people understand to be patient? Can't they tell we're working hard back here? When you make those kind of comments, and I've heard very dumb food truck owners say those things with people around, you're ruining the experience. It's not just about being polite. Courtesy builds trust. It makes people want to come back. Here's this real easy tip. Train your cashier to give compliments and make sure every guest feels like a regular, a loyal regular, even on their very first visit. One of the things that Disney teaches all of their cast members to do is to call a guest by name. Okay, we're going, well, how's that possible? Have you ever noticed that a lot of people, when they bring their kids to Disney World the very first time, will get their kids the little Mickey Mouse ears or the Minnie Mouse ears, and then they'll embroider the name of the child on the hat. And then it's all a matter of training the employees to watch for that name. Now, you don't have that luxury because people aren't going to come up to you with a name tag on in most cases. But it's up to you to get the name. Hey, can I have your phone number so we can text you when the food's up? And I'd love to know your first name so we can put that there too. Hey, my name is Bill. Awesome, Bill. I'll remember your name the next time you come in. It's all about having that conversation with the guest and getting it done. You want to get the guests on your side from the very beginning. Notice the lady's earrings. Notice a t-shirt that somebody's wearing. Notice a slogan on the t-shirt. Notice the colors of fingernail polish. Hey, love that fingernail polish. Love the earrings. Oh, look at that bracelet. I love that watch. I got one just like it. How many steps have you taken today? If they have on the smartwatch. There's all kinds of little clues that you can make small talk with that makes the guests feel noticed, appreciated, and wanted to be there. The next segment that they talk about and teach their employees on, the next value is called show. Now you're going, we'll put on a show. But it's not just putting on a show. It's how everything looks and feels. Disney treats the park like a huge stage. So every single employee is wearing a costume. And that's what they call them. It's a costume. Whether you're the dude that's sweeping up cigarette butts in Epcot Center, which is a job I always wanted to do because I thought that was just the neatest thing, to be able to walk around and be in one of the happiest places on earth that people want to be at. And if I can sweep up cigarette butts and then help little kids take a picture, not a problem. That sounds like a great day to me. So the entire park at Disney is a stage. You can do the exact same thing. Disney makes sure that all their employees' costumes are in great repair. Remember, it's a uniform, but they call it a costume. So it's in great repair. It is wrinkle-free, it's pristine, and it makes sense for the area they're in. You'll never see somebody dressed up to be the sweeper at Epcot where they're going around and sweeping, and those guys, at least they used to, when I went to Epcot a lot, used to be dressed up like they were in the Foreign Legion. But you would never see them in other parts of the park where it would make no sense for somebody dressed in a Foreign Legion costume. You'll never see somebody running through trying to get to Space Mountain in their costume for the Space Mountain and see them running through the Swiss Family Robinson area or the Tiki Hut area or Pirates of the Caribbean. You won't see that mixed mash stuff. Disney understands how that breaks the show. You see a pirate dude running through Tomorrowland and it messes up the feel of Tomorrowland. Now, a kid may go, hey, they're time travelers. But the adults are going, that doesn't make any sense. So now they're taken out of the moment. Disney makes sure the trash gets picked up immediately. The entire staff, and I mean the entire staff, from the dude that is supposed to be sweeping up those cigarette butts to the CEO of the company, are trained as they walk through the park to bend over and pick up that gum wrapper, that cup, that lid, that straw that somebody dropped. And I've seen this happen. I've seen people, when I read their name tag and it says Michael, CEO, will walk over and pick up trash. They're trained to do that. So when they hired Michael Eisner, he had to go through Disney University. And Disney University is, we're going to go out and show you how the park is supposed to be. And the neat thing about it is, it's not how it's supposed to be, it's how it really is. The employees do what they've been taught. So ask yourself, are you dressed professionally? Is the uniform clean? Is the window area spotless? Are we in character? Which means, do we actually act like we want to be there? Is the food presented? Is it Instagram ready? Is every single product that goes out picture worthy? The show is your brand. The show is the vibe that you create. It's the experience. It's the story. If all you're there to do is sell food, there are a million other places that sell food. But if you're there to feed the hungry, if you're there to excite the hungry with your presentation and your flavors, that kind of lifts up what you do. So here's another quick tip. Do a walk up. And what that means is, through the eyes of a guest, what do they see when they walk up to your food truck? Stand about 10 feet away from the food truck and ask yourself, what does it look like? Would a guest be impressed with what they see? We have a tree that's about 12 feet or so away from the food truck. Creates a lot of shade for us, and we love it in the summertime. The wintertime, not so much. But what I do is I go out there and lean against the tree and just look. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What can we do to improve the show around the truck? Now let's go to the last segment, the last part of it, and that's efficiency is what Disney calls it now, but they actually used to call it capacity. And you know I love the word capacity because we have cooking capacity, service capacities, and storage capacities on a food truck. So when we talk efficiency or capacity, it's not just speed for the sake of being fast. It's speed that does not sacrifice the other three. Now you've heard me talk about this when we are talking speed of service. We'll talk about you can go so fast as a cashier, but the cook cannot. They are time bound for food safety. Okay, so safety is first. They can't make a burger cook quicker because the line is 60 people deep instead of 2 people deep. And they can't make the burger cook quicker because the cashier is going faster than they can cook the food. If your burger takes 6 minutes to cook, it takes 6 minutes to cook. You can't change that. So that's where the efficiency comes in. The employees are trained to pace that line so that everyone's able to keep up and everyone has the good show, both inside the food truck and outside the food truck. So you want to have ways to streamline your menu to speed it up. You want to make sure that there are clear roles during service. There's a grill cook, there's a fryer guy, there's a cashier, there's a runner, there's an expediter. Whatever those positions are called on your food truck, everyone knows what their position is during service and knows how to help each other. That's why I tell you to pay everybody the same amount. We had that Just a Cashier episode a few weeks ago. Just a cashier, you don't need to be in business. They are your cashier. They're the ones that drive the sales. They're the ones that suggest stuff. They're the ones that create that experience for your guests. They are just as important as your cook. And they are just as important as the person that's assembling those food products that are Instagram worthy. But they all got to know each other's jobs, be able to help each other out when it does get busy. And they can't be afraid to help each other out. And they sure don't want to say, not my job, because you don't pay me to do that. Cross-train your staff. Track your order times. Look for bottlenecks. You should have some type of security system in your food truck or food trailer at the very least. If you don't have a sophisticated POS system that'll track your time for you, then use those videos and see where the bottlenecks are. If you are recording stuff for security, then you also are recording stuff that you can use as training opportunities. So there you have it. Safety, courtesy, show, and capacity or efficiency. It's not just Disney magic, it's operational excellence. And they have been doing a lot of things right for many, many years. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel, just copy what already works. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you like what we do, please consider subscribing. If you love what we do, show some support. There's a link in the description to make that happen. Until next time, you guys have a profitable week.